Good morning. Can you hear me? Happy Friday. You said some videos are funny and some are not so funny. That's okay. Well, you take some and you leave some, but I think they're funny. Yeah, happy Friday. Anybody got plans for the weekend? Nope. I do not know anything about that. Like a literal flower? Like, I don't know. Maybe I should know, but I don't know. Okay. So here we go. We're going to get started today. Can I just get sort of like I just want to know how many of you guys have taken your exam and how many have not. So can you give me a thumbs up if you have taken your exam, and a thumbs down if you need to take it? Oh, that's cool, Jacob. Is it one of those that only like blossoms at night, like a couple times or something like that? Cool. I think my friend might have something like that. Okay. Yeah, there's exam 1, so you might want to check on that at the end of class today, Tegan. So we're going to do some more review today. Good. I honestly have no idea how long this is going to take us. Hopefully it will answer all of your questions. And then we're going to play the quizzes together as a class today, just for fun, just for one more review. I know it can be repetitive, but I do feel like with repetition, you get a lot more practice. And the more you kind of like pound that into your brain, the more likely it is that you're going to be able to recall that when we take the actual test. So let me think if I have, oh, the other thing that I want to talk to you about, if you are working ahead in Canvas, that's fine. But potentially, I might be making just a couple of changes here. So I might wait a couple of days to work ahead in Canvas if you're doing that. If you want to do it, it's fine. There's not going to be any penalties for you working ahead. But just letting you know, don't start freaking out about any upcoming assignments. I'm going to update you on that on Monday. Okay? All right, let's get started. Okay, as you can see, we have our Unit 1 exam. I told you that it's due yesterday. I think technically it's due today. So you need to get that done, turned in today. If you have not taken it, it needs to get done, okay? So I'm going to try to give you maybe like 10 minutes at the end of class, maybe a little bit longer to get started if you haven't taken it yet, but today we're going to mostly review for that. And then Monday, we're going to start a new lesson over evidence and Locard's exchange principle. Okay, oops, this is not the right presentation. Let's switch to the right one. Starts out the same way. Okay. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually start with the quizzes so that I can see what we need to be covering in more detail, okay? Because I had you turn it in individually yesterday, but I just want to know for this class specifically what we need to work on today. And I think it's a really good quizzes. It's really helpful for those of you that take it before the exam. I think it's a really great tool. Okay, so go to join. Actually, oh, they changed it on me. It's joinmyquiz.com. Joinmyquiz.com. And the code is 332491. 332491. Okay. So go there. I'm going to screen share so that you can see the leaderboard. And then we can kind of get a grasp on where you guys are at with your learning and what we need to cover today. Come on, screen sharing. There it is. Okay, go ahead and join, and then we'll get started. Even if you've already taken your test, go ahead and join anyways, because it's going to be good review. We use these things on the interim assessment. You're going to have to, let's do that in just a little bit, Jacob. Maybe at the end of class, okay? That'd be a good idea at the end of class. All right, so even if you've already taken the exam, go ahead and join, because like I said, you're going to need to know this information for the next interim assessment. It's always a good idea to review. So let's get some more participants in here. And I'm actually going to pause this recording while we're doing this. I muted my microphone, and then I also muted my headset, and then I don't know what happened. Are you unable to see this screen if I share it with you? Can you see the quizzes screen? Okay, I thought so. I was just making sure. All right, so we're going to review over review over the missed questions, although there weren't a lot. I mean, look at that. That looks great. Okay. And y'all did an awesome job answering those questions. So good for you. It was a pretty close race there. And my computer is freezing up. Yay. Okay, hold on a minute. I can't do anything with it right now. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. Wow, did we get all of these correct? Okay. One person missed this one, and it's anonymous, so we won't say who. But physical characteristics to identify individuals is biometrics. DNA was a good guess because that is a characteristic, sort of, I guess. But you know, that's more specific. Biometrics is like that measure of anything that's individual to a person. All right. Let's see if anybody else missed something. All right, elevation sketch is best used outside. Remember, we're actually going to go over that today. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. All right. Wow, you guys did such a good job on this. Okay, Daubert standard. And I knew this would trip you up, and that's why I put that answer in there, okay? Daubert standard declares that the judge is the gatekeeper. What is this one? What is the other answer? Yep, that's the Frye standard. Good for you. That's the Frye standard. So Frye standard says whatever is acceptable by the scientific community is acceptable in court, okay? Circumstantial evidence is physical evidence. A written document or confession would almost be direct evidence because it is like a testimony against yourself, okay? So I think we could safely include that in direct evidence, okay? And then ballistics are used to match bullets fired at a crime scene. Remember, ballistics, they sound kind of the same. That's how you can remember that ballistics are related to bullets. But I guess the one that we got wrong was used to determine if someone has been firing shotguns at a shooting range. You know, we could do that by testing for gunshot residue, but this is a better answer, okay, used to match bullets fired at a crime scene. All right, any questions about the game or anything involved in the game? Good, I'm glad you do. I love forensics too. Good, all right. So we're gonna go back here and continue our lesson. I'll turn my camera back on so that you can see my face. I don't know how much you guys actually get to see the webcam because I minimize it so that I can see the presentation. I don't know if you guys do the same, but I leave it on just in case you need to see my face for context or anything like that. All right. So let's go over crime scene sketches because I feel like this is tripping us up a little bit. This is one of the most commonly missed questions, even on the interim assessment, and I know we went over this a little bit again yesterday, but I just pulled in a few of our slides from our crime scene sketch lesson just to make sure that you for sure know what we're talking about when we talk about crime scene sketches, okay? Not really you for what? For using the webcam or for not understanding the crime scene sketch? I don't know. All right, so here, if you would like to take a snip of this, if you would like to take a picture of this on your phone, anything, here is like the main definitions for crime scene sketches, okay? So if you struggle with this, these next few slides would be a good thing to take a snip of or save. I'm going to upload this PowerPoint to Canvas as well. Okay, yeah, which is why we're going over it. So good. All right, so the overview or floor plan sketch is like a bird's eye view, okay? It's a layout of the scene horizontally as seen from above. We'll look at a picture of that, but also the picture that we're going to look at in here is an example of like a really overview sketch. It's almost like what a drone would see if it was flying over outdoors. It could also just look like a plain old floor plan, okay, but not including walls. Overview sketch does not include walls, okay. The elevation sketch is a layout of the scene vertically as seen from a side, and we'll look at a picture of that as well. We'll look at a picture of an exploded view. It's like an unfolded box. And then perspective sketch is our three-dimensional sketch of an object, and we're going to look at pictures of all of these. All right, so just to see what you understand, let's do this together, okay? Okay, well, we will try to clear that up for you. All right, the difference is that the overview or floor plan sketch does not include walls. The exploded view includes walls, okay? All right, so for number one, is number one A, B, C, or D? Do we agree with Bailey? Is it B? Anybody disagree? Okay, yes, it is B. This is our overview sketch. Doesn't quite look like a floor plan like I told you, but this one is an example of an overview sketch as well, okay? All right, for number two, oh, that's okay. That's all right, I understand. All right, for the elevation sketch, is it A, B, C, or D? Yes, elevation is C. You can see that side view with like what it looks like an elevation, okay? All right, C, exploded view. That's not what I meant to say. Exploded view, is that A, B, C, or D? There we go, that's D. You can see the walls included there. So that is exploded view, and you guys got ahead of me for perspective sketch. That is A. So look at this closely, because that's the one, for some reason, we're really getting exploded view and perspective sketch mixed up, okay? But perspective sketch looks like this, all right? It's a specific object, okay? So again, here's our overview, or it can look like a floor plan without walls. So it'd just be like a plain block box floor plan. Here's our elevation sketch up close. You can see that from the side. Sure, if you want to, you can do that. I don't know how you can share that. Maybe in the note board. Maybe you have a link to it. I don't know. Here's our exploded view. It has the walls. You can see the walls there. And then our perspective sketch is like an up close view. Okay. All right, so we're going to watch two videos. I found these really interesting. They're about some new technology that we've used for crime scenes, and I just thought while we were reviewing this today, it was a good time to share this with you. So I'm going to click on each of the videos. I think you have to click on it yourself, but you should be able to click directly on the page and it will let you play the video.
So we purchased a 3D laser scanner in December of 2012. I use it at basically every major crime scene. Anytime I have a homicide, an officer-involved shooting, anything that's going to get probably a lot of publicity. With the 3D laser scanner, it allows me to collect a huge amount of data with very minimal work at the scene. I might have items that I know are important to my scene that I could maybe want to take measurements of. Having this data here, I can return to my scene anytime I want and measure something. Or if I go to the courtroom and an attorney asks me, what's this measurement, or can you show me this in your scene, I can move right into the scene and show them that object or take that measurement live. Maybe it dispels a witness statement saying that they were in a certain position and they saw something. And I can go to their position in my 3D laser scans and say, no, from their position, they probably wouldn't have been able to see what occurred. Or if we get somebody that maybe starts to perjure themselves on the stand and make up lies or say something like that, obviously we have physical evidence. We have still photos, we might have video, but I can take them right back to the scene as it was when I found it and say, yes, this verifies what they're saying, or no, this is not proving what they're saying. It's completely different than what they told me. Even with video and digital images, we can take as many as we want, but until we know that somebody was standing in a certain perspective, which we might not know that until later on. It's frequent that officer-involved shooting investigations, the shooting officer isn't interviewed for a couple of days. And so by that time, the scene has already been given up. We've released the scene, we're done. I'm back in my office working on other things. And I might not get that chance to get his perspective. So with this, I can, if he tells me I was standing in a certain position, I can go back to that position and see what that officer could have seen. It's a great tool for refreshing memory, verifying data, for an officer to go back and see the scene as it was when he responded to that scene, he or she responded to that scene. It's pretty incredible.
High-tech gadgets you see on TV crime shows are actually making it to tri-state streets.
9 on your side, Chief Investigator Brendan Keefe shows you the latest crime-fighting tool. Brendan?
And this is a neat one, guys. Investigators in Ohio have a secret weapon. It's a laser, capturing images and just maybe capturing a killer. This is not a video game. It's a murder scene rendered in 3D by a revolutionary scanner.
And essentially this brings the jury to the crime scene without having to leave the jury box.
A green laser bounces off this spinning mirror, which is mounted on a turntable, measuring distances to every surface it hits, while a digital camera snaps high-resolution photos of the entire crime scene. Then analysts create a 3D composite you can walk through.
The scanner itself does millions and millions of points that it scans, and then it takes 260 photographs. So it maps those photographs onto those points.
Crime scene photography has been around for more than a century, capturing a moment in time and preserving the scene as it was just moments after the crime was committed. That was then. This is now. This is not a two-dimensional photograph, but a 3D virtual crime scene investigators can leap into and walk around. They can go over here by the front door to see what the killer saw when he or she walked inside the house. This is an actual cold case crime scene. They can go down here and look at the lower level where the body was found, downstairs. They can even see what witnesses saw from their perspective. They can walk upstairs to see what was going on up there at the time of the crime. This adds a whole new dimension to crime scene investigation.
There was only one witness to this crime. She walked in and saw her husband was shot and dead, and this now gives us her perspective of what she saw that day.
The body was found here on the top steps leading down to the basement. Using the 3D rendering at the witness's height, investigators are able to test her claim she saw the body while walking into the kitchen.
And they need to know from the top of this stairwell, if you're able to see a body that was laying on this back stairwell.
It also is good in courtroom presentations where we can show it in front of a jury and the jury can virtually walk through the scene and see it as we saw it.
The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation is getting 5 of these scanners. BCI Special Agent Brian White uses the device as a virtual tape measure, making precise measurements without going back to the scene. It can even track a bullet back to the point where it was fired.
You follow that path and your shooter's somewhere along that line.
So you can go back and say, oh, that's exactly where that shell casing was, or that's exactly where the blood was, because now it's preserved in a 3D format.
It's a hot lead on a cold case, one the killer could never have imagined when a man's life ended here in 1987. That's pretty cool stuff, right? By next month, all 5 scanners will be spread around the state at BCI regional offices for rapid deployment right after a crime occurs. They've already been used in several pending criminal cases. Guys?
That is really impressive, Brendan. Very cool. High-tech gadgets you see on...
Isn't that amazing? Did you guys finish watching those videos? Did everybody finish watching them? I just think that's incredible. It's like mind-blowing that you could like create that specific of like a 3D rendering of a crime scene and just like walk through it basically virtually. It's so impressive to me. So I thought I would just share that with you while we were reviewing over our crime scene sketches, because I want you to understand that while we still do photography and all this kind of stuff, we still use crime scene sketches to kind of document where each piece of evidence was found. But increasingly, we're getting more high tech with these types of things. Okay. All right. Any comments, questions about that? I see somebody typing, so I'll wait just a second. Yeah, I bet you can. But yeah, because I think I've seen like a YouTuber that films everything in 3D, but they are not cheap. That's for sure. Okay. All right. Oops, what's happening with my computer? There we go. Okay, I made like compiled a list of a few things that just some main topics that are on the unit exam, and I just want to give you a chance to look at these terms and ask any questions that you might have about these things. So, oh, thanks Jacob for sharing that in the note board as well. I'll have to take a look at that. So, excuse me, does anybody have a question about any one of these topics on the board? I'll pause for a minute and let you look at those. These are sort of our main ideas on the exam. So if you feel like you don't understand something about one of these terms, just let me know and I'll go over it with you. All right. Well, if you don't have any questions, what we're going to do now, we have about 10 minutes left of class. I'm going to let you jump into that unit exam if you still need to take it. And I'm going to stop our recording here. Stop that for the day.